Greetings and salutations, commanders from all across the galaxy. I'm your host, Reginaldus. I have a special guest here for you today, a man known by 108 names, the myth, the warmongering legend, RidiculousBadger. Ridiculous.
Hey, thanks so much for having me. It's been a long time since my warmongering days, but hey, I'm really looking forward to seeing how much I have missed in the past 2+ years.
Pleasure to have you here, brother. And we're just going to go over some of the stuff, like as you guys can see on the screen right now. We have Comet Cesar, who's available in the new event. We're going to find out if whether, this character is finally going to bring infantry back in the meta. What do you feel about like infantry in the meta from the past?
Back when I was playing infantry, I always struggled. However, they've always had the most amount of commanders that are viable in the meta. But it's always great to see them gain another tool in their belt so that they can fight against the air supremacy.
Airship is very, very dominant, especially black. So let's go into our first replay here. We have Comet Cesar versus black player, who is literally the best player from the footage that I caught. What do you think of the appearance? Is this a cool concept that they're going with? Do you think it's a bad concept?
Listen, I actually like it. I find my first infantry combat game was the X that I saved with Stella for the looks. So I'm kind of digging how Comet Czar is looking here.
And with the Comet Czar's equipment, what we're seeing is they want very high skill trigger rate, like some of the gear you see here: Ruthless, Dim Light, Alcade, Ambition, Fire Spirit. All these items, this one example build here was just increasing the hell out of the skill trigger rate. Do you think there's like a diminishing return when focusing on like a skill trigger rate build, or how do you feel about that?
So I mean, this is a great question. So because Comet Czar has a skill that increases skill trigger rate, right? So you would need to see if it's a multiplicative increase or if it's additive, and that could have a huge difference. If it's only multiplicative, you might not want to go so far into it. Well, for a commander like this, you always have to keep in mind that going high into skill trigger rate is going to give you returns based on how long the battle is. If you're planning on a short battle, like a one-slot bust, you're not going to see a real return, and you've got to keep in mind that the second skill does not run off of skill trigger rate at all.
Let's get into the new footage of Comet Cesar from 7 Pirate.
Alright, I gotta get my translator ready though.
Right? It's always cryptic.
Meteor Rush, level 60. Infantry has a 40% chance to trigger before action. The attack is guaranteed to hit and be a crit, and if it takes down the target, all enemy damage taken by 60% will not be cleared. Skill 2, Lightning Pierce, level 60. 100% chance to trigger when battle begins. If the number of allied soldier types is more than equal to that of the enemies, turn 30% damage into true damage. If the number of allied soldier types is less than that of the enemies, gain 30% damage reduction until the end of the battle. Will not be cleared. Characteristics: 1. After destroying a slot of an enemy with skill Meteor Rush, the rest enemy will be in a vulnerable state, which enables Comet Czar to keep killing. 2. With Soldier's Armament and Energy Module function, using diverse types of soldiers in the battle may be the future strategic trend. Lightning Pierce is a flexible skill which enables you to select your own soldier combination, and is a skill that combines both offense and defense. 3. Overall, Comet Czar is generally a high offensive infantry commander. With high output equipment, he can achieve unexpected effects. Recommended equipment, just for reference: Normal, M110, Titan, Rabbit Ear Headband, Void, Assault. Advanced, M110, Alcade, Tonlung, Antares, Beetlejuice.
If you want to take a look at that gear, Forge Ship, upgrade tab, go to the handbook, and then scroll all the way down. You'll see all the available gear in the game, and go ahead and check out its full stats. And currently right now the item is in the event to be purchased. Put that at the bottom there, the requirements. And then what we're seeing here that the commander, the more troops that you have, the more buffs that you get with the skill trigger rate.
That's again a money grab, and just be careful. If you can increase your skill trigger rate, but you have to have good skills that matter. Otherwise, you can just use another comp that's cheaper. Anytime you get into these kind of specific mechanics, this is a money grab for the devs. So I would advise players, don't change your way of play to adopt a very specific commander.
Definitely wise words. What do you feel about the with this character, like just off the top of your dome? This character's released, it was just released, and something like this drops, and you're playing Ark of War back when you were playing. You think something like this shakes up the meta?
So it will shake up the meta because the way that this works is it gives the user an advantage. And because you've got that 100% trigger rate on lightning boost, so it will shake up the meta, but it's only going to be the very top tier of spenders. This is going to be something to like really look at jumping into. For most players, when they introduce a comm, most players should wait and watch and see what other people do and how it impacts gameplay before making that decision to move, especially if the comm requires like specialized gear.
Absolutely, I agree, depending on where you are in the game. And that's another thing about Ark of War. Badger, I think you'll have a lot to say about this. Like, it's not only the gear on the comm, but what are you going against? Are you facing a lot of dodge commanders that are in power on your planet? Or are you a lot of airship commanders with a high defense? You know, what exactly are you fighting against? And that will actually, you know, you can specify your build on whatever commander you're trying to use to go ahead and counter those things. What do you think about like that concept of how to build a commander versus the meta on your planet?
You're 100% on the money. You're not. I used to tell people you should not be gearing commanders. You should be gearing situations.
Absolutely. Ah, damn, that was so precise. That was perfect. And right here we have some Galactic campaign footage. Speaking of gearing towards a situation, going into like a Galactic campaign, you know, guys would train on for months on end before even entering this thing. Badger, give us some backside on what type of training goes into Galactic campaign back when you were playing.
Back when I was playing it, there were no simulations, so everything meant that the only way that you could really train is live fire against other people. Because when you go into certain modules, they don't utilize all your research. I think now a lot of that has changed, and now I think players have more tools than they've ever had to get real training time under their belt for a very low spend.
Absolutely. And for those of you who are probably new, you know, this is your first year playing Ark of War, like it's mine. Like this month is like my anniversary month of playing Ark of War, and but I know of RidiculousBadger, the man's a GOAT. And for those who don't know RidiculousBadger, go ahead and give them a little insight on how big was your arc, the Galactic campaigns you guys have participated in, and what guilds you were going against at that time.
When I left the game, I was 365 million power, and the biggest player in the game was just above 2 billion. We fought against juggernauts, really, because we were largely a moderate to low spending guild, but we fought against like God Chaos, we fought against NYC, AXR, Winter Soldiers, DCG. In my time, these were all gigantic, you know, juggernaut guilds.
Absolutely. And I think you had said something earlier about how when you're playing at this level, you don't just build what you want, you build what the guild needs. Can you talk a little bit about that so people, you know, who are not familiar with that type of mentality can catch up?
Sure. So when you do not play this game in a vacuum, unless you were spending tens of thousands of dollars in a month. I really felt like as a player I didn't have the luxury of doing what I wanted. Now you always have fun in the game, but it's the less money you spend on this game, in my opinion, the more you should be prepared to make communal decisions as a team to figure out where the gaps are, where you could have the most impact in the style that you like to play.
Alright, now segueing into some of the events that are going on. If you gotta craft the rest of your items, here's a little trick. Just go ahead and craft a couple of mongooses. They cost like probably 1k gold. And you're going to see here I finished crafting 4 mongooses just to go ahead and meet this requirement here to go ahead and get the day 4 rewards here. Get the day 4 rewards. Don't forget to go ahead and pick up your war machine right here at the end. Pick up your war machine. Alright, so now this segment we're going to jump into something that I have here is a tip and trick from my account personally. I don't think anybody put this out there, but this is just what I did personally. I went and crafted, like, you know, this is my first year Ark of War. I crafted a dodge set, 5 dodge sets. How important do you feel, once again, as an infantry main, yourself, Dodger, it is to have a dodge set?
That's the first thing you need to do in this game because of all of the rewards that you get from PvE and how important dodge is in punching above your weight in PvE. Just make sure that when you're crafting that gear, that you're crafting it multiple times so that you get a good initial roll on it.
Yeah, and as you can see here, I was just going through some of the items. You want to get yourself a Gale. You want to get yourself a Thomas 3, a Thomas 6. Both of them give dodge. And so the pants, you could either get the Nexaw, that's a little extra. The Gale is quite enough. And once you get 5 sets worth of these items, whatever weapons you had on your character, you just go ahead and replace the headpiece, the chest, and the pants with the Gales you see here. Badger, I'm pretty sure you had something like this, right? Or
yeah, PvE is all about stats. It doesn't matter what the commander is. All that matters is you've got that gear that works, and that you can fit enough troops in the slot.
Absolutely. And I'm even going to poke over some of the formations that I use in just a moment. But as you can see here, all the 5 of my commanders here have that dodge gear, and the only thing that stayed was the weapons. After that, once you have that on all 5 of you guys, go ahead and save it on the slots so that you can quickly swap onto this gear and swap back to your original gear. And Badger, man, I just want to thank you once again for your time, jumping on the episode here with us for the community. I want to let everybody know that you can find Badger on his YouTube channel, RidiculousBadger. He has playlists of Ark of War. It's where I learned to play Ark of War series. RidiculousBadger also has a War of Diplomacy Discord, which I will link in the comments below. Guys, check that out. RidiculousBadger, man, give the people your shout outs.
Thank you so much for having me. It's been an absolute pleasure. This is, you made this super easy and fun, and I'm happy to do this in the future. I hope that if you do check out my channel, scroll down past the cat videos and random crap, because I don't really make content anymore. But do just keep in mind, of course, that all those videos are really outside the meta. So do take them with a grain of salt. I do want to give a shout out to everybody on the Diplomacy of War server, which remains to this day the largest place for Ark of War players to interact in a single place, even including the game itself. We've got over 2,500 members on there talking every day and sharing their knowledge. And of course, this would not be complete without a shout out to my old guild, Seraphim, to anybody who used to be in Seraphim, to anybody that still is today. You will always hold a special place in my heart.
Banger episode. Badger, once again, thank you so much, brother.
Thank you.